Your faith is God's prerequisite to trust you to help other people. Your faith is the thing that keeps problems at bay. Like, no matter what you go through in your mind, just keep the faith. That your faith is the foundation of your belief.
Welcome to the Brand Hustlers Podcast, where innovation meets ambition and stories of success inspire the next generation of business leaders. Each episode, we dive into the journeys of those who hustle, those who make their dreams a reality, and those who are shaping the future of business. Whether an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned business owner, or simply a dreamer with a vision, you're in the right place. So get ready to ignite your passion, learn from the best, and transform your ideas into action. This is where your brand story begins. Welcome, Brand Hustlers.
What's good, Brand Hustlers? It's your boy, Ryan Roundtree, also known as Tree the Creator, and we are back with another episode of the Brand Hustlers. Today, I'm here with Chris Jolly B. Oliver of Energy Fitness. Man, this brother is amazing. I met this brother probably like 6 months ago and clicked instantly. Man, we probably talked for a good couple of hours just on mindset, on faith, on just life, and it was such an awesome conversation. More recently linked up, creating content, definitely taking it beyond Baltimore as far as fitness is concerned. But this brother has a unique angle when it comes to fitness, because beyond fitness we have, and I would say included in fitness, we tend to neglect the mental part of fitness. So Jolly.
Yes. Yes.
This is gonna be good. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? What brought you here to Maryland? More specifically, Baltimore. And we'll get. Now, I'll ask you about Energy Fitness after you.
Right.
Just a little background about yourself.
So basically, I'm from Tuscaloosa, Pickens County, Alabama. I say Tuscaloosa, Pickens County because it's like I have to identify with Tuscaloosa because Pickens County is so far off the map that if I say, hey, I'm from Pickensville, Alabama, you wouldn't find it. I mean, I think we got a population of about 800 people.
Okay.
Real talk. Like, I'm from a very small sundown town. I don't know if you know what a sundown town is. It's like when the sun go down, that's it. Lights off. Everybody go to bed. It's over. 6 o'clock, oh my God, it's done.
6 o'clock, why so early?
Because that's when time change, the sun go down at like 5, it's a wrap. Unless you finna go put some wood in a barrel and sit under the tree with the guys, then, that's pretty much it for the day.
Okay.
No fast food restaurants or nothing like that. But I think we recently got a Subway. Recently, is a Jack's, but that's still about a 10, 13 mile
and
drive.
that's just here. So you've been back recently?
I've been home. I went home last year for a quick visit to see my mom, a few of my family members. I went back to either look at some business opportunities and stuff like that, but for the most part, I don't visit too often because of how busy I've been. Mm-hmm. And as we speak about that, I think I need to do a better job at, getting back home. But for the most part, like I said, we sundown. So even if the sun go down at 8 o'clock, it's over with. Ain't no going to McDonald's, ain't no going to no Taco Bell or nothing like that. It's a very small town. But nonetheless, a very great experience of a childhood that I had growing up there. Because everything is just family oriented. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, if I dial back a little bit and think about like how I came up, it made me a lot more resourceful as an adult. Where in the country, a lot of things that you do depend on how you do it, not calling for help and stuff like that. So
buckle down, tapping in figuring
it out. Always learning how to improvise, mm-hmm. And I think that has been one of the most profound things that have made me who I am in the city.
Okay, So what brought you to the city? What brought you to Baltimore?
Football.
Okay.
I played football. So I went to college in Birmingham, Alabama, at Miles College. I went there. I signed with the University of Memphis out of high school. Father passed. I couldn't be too far away from home. If you know anything about growing up on a farm and stuff like that, it's a full-time job almost. And as a kid, working the farm was like my full-time job. Before I started training people, I used to train horses. A lot of people don't know that. I started riding when I was like 5.
Okay.
Started training horses when I was like 8, 9, something like that.
Okay.
And I kind of grew into that role around my people and my family. So after college, I was blessed with the opportunity to play some football, and then my agent got me an opportunity to try out with the Ravens.
Okay.
I tried out. Didn't last long because of injury, but nonetheless, it was my first time being in a bigger city. A lot of people here don't even consider Baltimore as a city. They like, this the country. Like New York, and they think that, where the heart of Dixie is. Virginia. No, bro, I'm from the heart. The actual pumping heart of the Dixie, Alabama. So, it's a big difference. And the most beautiful thing I can say I learned when I got to Baltimore was I seen a hustle that I never seen before. It's like the hustle that I've always had, but when I got to Baltimore, I seen people express it.
Okay.
Whether it was clean and jump.
Yeah,
I met some guys when I first got here, man, that's on some humble stuff that showed me like, hey, look, I can make $100 an hour. I'm like, what? Yeah. They just had like some 2 trucks. They go haul some junk. I mean, scrapyard, $200-$300. They did that like every other hour. Just all crazy hustle. Then I seen people with what they call them, squeegee boys. Mm-hmm. I seen them out there with some Windex and some squeegees from the gas station. That's hustling. I seen water. They were selling water in the middle of the road when I first came to Baltimore. People were giving people right before I knew anything about Uber and Lyft. People hacking. I'm lost because I was thinking like I stopped pulled over. You good? You okay? Oh no! I'm gonna give you a couple dollars to take me around. I was like, nah, I'm going somewhere, but I thought you needed something. No, I'm lost. So I seen that hustle, man. I was like, sheesh, holy what? Let's get it. I like Baltimore, man. I mean, I'm talking about the boutiques, the salons.
Yeah.
Like the people here have that mindset that I've always craved in the country, but it always been dimmed down because of traditional living.
Right.
So I always had this thing where I would say like, oh, one day I'm gonna get out of the country. One day I don't want to do this the rest of my life. That's some hard. If you ain't never lived on a farm, that's hard work. Yeah, I'm talking about like everybody. Yeah, when I retire, I'm gonna go farm. All right, your ass finna go to work. Your ass finna go to work. You finna go to work. When you talking about taking care of 200-300 head of cows, then pigs and then the chickens, they all gotta eat.
So that's I would say the main reason
you gotta harvest. You gotta make the living condition proper.
Right.
So you gonna plant your own food, you better get a small little patch because trying to manage 200-300 acres of corn and manage 200-300 acres of peas, tomatoes, watermelon, like that's real.
That's why you go to sleep at 8 o'clock, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. The sun go down, you going down. You ain't got nothing left.
When they said when the rooster crow,
no.
I remember the rooster crowing. He used to crow. Get up. I mean, so it's just like I say, the experience was different. I loaned and craved it, a secret that I told a lot of people. I told a lot of people, man, I never experienced fast food till I went to college. Somebody introduced me to Taco Bell and said I can get a chalupa at midnight. Just imagine you ain't never been able to get out your bed and go through a drive-thru, right?
All the lights, you like overstimulated.
Like, I went to Birmingham.
Give me like 6 of them jobs.
Man, I gained so much weight. They say, your freshman 30, 15? I put on the freshman 15. I put on about a freshman 60. Ready. What? Late night. What? I'm hungry. I get just, what? Shoot, take me, I'll buy you something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a new experience.
But yeah, though, but all in all, man, like it was just, like I said, growing up in the country, I was like It was a beautiful thing, bro. Like, you had to, like, be there to understand that experience. But that football ultimately brought me to Baltimore, but the passion for the people, the passion for the hustle, the passion for the grind, it kept me here.
Gotcha.
You know, even when football was over with, I found myself in Baltimore, Maryland. I found my purpose here.
So you ended up here in Baltimore. You found your purpose, your passion. So what brought you to fitness or wanting to like really help out people to achieve their goals in the fitness realm?
Be honest with you, I went crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. After you had all these opportunities to experience all of this, and then you get knocked back down to square one, you have to find a coping mechanism. You have to find an outlet. And no lie, you know, fitness was the coping mechanism for me. Even when I was playing ball, and I know I'm not the only person that can attest to this, a lot of athletes can attest to this, that when you in the midst of it, you don't even like the workout. Everybody had this idea that they can just show up and turn it on. Some, you know, working out is not something that, you know, it's something that you know you need to do. You know that it prevent injury. You know that it help you to grow and it help your muscle development. But when I was playing ball, man, I hit the weight room for like 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. You know, I trained a little bit with a trainer during the off seasons and stuff like that. But, you know, I wanted to be outside, not in the gym. But when I lost my mind, I wanted nothing but the gym, because I know for a fact that it'll take me 3-4 hours when felt like I was losing it. I'd be in the gym for like 3-4, maybe 5 hours. I didn't even want to go to work, you know? So I go in, I had a routine, man. I had to hit the sauna for like 15 minutes. You gonna get that pre-workout in you, then you gonna hit that treadmill or that whatever cardio you choose that day for like 30 minutes. Then you gonna work out for 30 minutes. Then you gonna shoot your shit and talk for a few minutes, you know. And then, you know, if you go to a community gym where you got the fellas in there, you're gonna turn into some type of competition before you leave. So you might start off benching 225. The fella come around now, y'all pushing 315, 405. You know, it was just good for your mental health. And then when you left out, you just felt like today gonna be the best day of my life, you know. Until you get back in that mode and that dopamine, you know, it delinquish, and now, you know, you crave it again. So now, you know, when I was struggling with my mental health, fitness became my new addiction. And then not only was it good for my mind, it was good for my body. Because when I was done playing ball, I was around like 420, 425, you know. Yeah, I was 420, 425 when I was done playing ball, you know. And my very first year being into fitness crazy, I think I lost like 120 pounds on accident. You know,
that's great.
It was an accident, and then that's when I got into the studies of it. I studied nutrition. I studied, I guess you could say, more natural remedies. You know, I studied all of it. I've lost 100 pounds maybe 5 times since my first time. You know? Yeah.
So a little bit of like seesaw going on, you know, just
that's the man. If you go back, and this for y'all, if y'all want to go check my Instagram out, if you go back and look at my Instagram, I have not been the same person for the last 6 years. I've been a different person every year. I was either bulky, I was super cut, I was slim cut, I was thick cut. I've been all you name it. I've
all
done
cuts
it.
of the all cuts
I've done
of the,
it, man. I love the discipline that drives around the things that you try. So if I was doing like OMED, only 1 meal a day, then my body would look a certain way. If I was doing intermittent fasting, my body would look a certain way. If I was eating just in a caloric deficit with a couple of hours of cardio, my body would look a certain way. If I would run and do a high carnivore diet, my body would look a certain way. If you can name it, I've done it, tried it all. And that's why I've been so successful and helping so many people, because I've done
you can speak to it.
I can attest to being there, done that. I tried it all, tested it out on her, him, And everybody that comes get the results. It just depends on what type of results you're looking for.
Right.
And by me trying all of this, it gives me the different insights on how to collectively help not just an individual, but a group of people.
Right.
Because everything does not apply to everybody.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd say going into it a little bit, what would you say some of the things that you were trying to cope from, as far as like the mental issues?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, this probably the most common one, a bad breakup. You know, I was in a bad breakup with who used to be my ex-fiance. That was like a domino effect. Some things transpired that really put me in a very tight situation. And when those things transpired that put me in a tight situation, it put me in a position where I had to fend for myself. And when you have to 100% absolutely fend for yourself, you have to get creative. And if your mental health is not intact, you can't think straight. You know? So one was a bad breakup, two, homelessness. After the breakup, due to the circumstances that led to me having to leave my home, I left on my own, but it left me in a position where I had nowhere to stay. I don't have family in Baltimore.
Right.
So due to those conditions of me living where we were living at the time, I end up eventually losing my job. So now, breakup, homelessness, no job, none of that. And the gym became like, instead of going to like a shelter, I went to the gym. We got a shower. And you know what I'm saying? You got workout equipment, you got a lobby area. You know, if you got a gym right here, then some food is in the area. Man, I begged for a little while, to be honest with you. I went through a very dark time in my life, but also the most resilient time in my life, you know, that put me in a crazy position to cross paths with some of the most profound, phenomenal people that I've ever met in my life.
Cool. What makes your gym different? I mean, I guess, you know, we kind of circling around to get to what makes energy different from the goals, makes energy different from the gym that's down the street.
What makes energy different from most gyms is the concept. Everything is conceptualized on the idea that we operate from a mental perspective. Energy, I don't even like to claim my gym as being a gym. We more of clinical therapeutic fitness.
Okay.
You know, by us being a clinical therapeutic fitness, we not only catering to the body, but we catering to the individual parts that creates the whole human being. You know, but our main focus are our 12 core values, which makes our gym actual program.
Okay.
The 12 core values are generalized as character traits. And in these character traits, what it does is it allows us social interaction. It allows us to grow in our mental conception of who we are as a person. It allows us to grow in our mental conception of how we treat others and how we come together as, I say, a unit to collaborate in efforts to not change just the body, but the mind first.
Yeah.
By changing the mind first, guess what follows? The body. And that was the testimony to my journey. Change your mind, change your body, change your life. My mind, I'm gonna say this, nothing changes unless the mind changes.
Absolutely.
Nothing. And if you understand that a man is simply nothing more than how and what he thinks, you understand the concept of changing your thinking in order to allow your body the opportunity to change. So what makes us really different is the holistic approach to understanding the mental fortitude of a human being that allows him the opportunity to change his perspective on not what he is, but how he is. To see yourself, to give yourself back that responsibility. Your weight loss or your weight gain is simply your responsibility. Your health and how you prioritize your health is your responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
So giving that responsibility back to the people and using it from a group, family, field, fitness, perspective allows you the opportunity to change at will.
Right. So there's a lot of talk that goes around, with anything, like if I have a dope concept or product, service. So what actually, I would say, inspired you to actually start it? And when did you start, and what actually put you like, man, this is a thing, I'm putting rubber to road, let's go. Like there has to be a turning point or something that clicks, like, look, this is it.
It was just belief. Believe it or not, it was just belief.
And it had to be like something had to click. It was just
let me tell you, man. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of how all this happened real quick. So basically, I had started my fitness journey with a guy named Kenny at LA Fitness in Lansdowne, Maryland, right? And at the time, I was not certified, but they needed help. I needed a job. They needed help. I was already using the facility, sneaking in. I wasn't even a member. Mm-hmm. So, anything you do consistently, people take notice.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going in every day, and he kind of reached out to me and was like, hey, man, you look good, man. And the people like you. You ever thought about doing some training? I was like, well,
yeah, but no, but
it ran across my mind, but not really, but yeah. So I started training there. As I was training, I was able to get certified. I got certified. I actually went back and got my nutrition the same time. So he put me with a couple of clients, and then I think within the first 2 months, I ended up with like 57 clients on the books. Crazy number, man. It was so many. I had so many clients, I couldn't even keep up with them. So I was actually reaching out to some of the local trainers that were independent, mm-hmm. and was like, hey, man, if you in this area, let me shoot you some clientele or whatnot. Not even knowing that all the time I'm making connection with people, not trying to on purpose, but I was just doing my thing.
Right.
And at the time, no lie, I was homeless. I was sleeping outside. When everybody would leave, I would fake leave. I would leave out of the parking lot. I would turn around and come back. And at the LA Fitness in Lansdowne, they got a 2-level parking garage. I go to the bottom of the parking garage back in my little corner. And at this time, this is when I got very interested in books. I had no TV, so I got into the books. So I kind of let God, quote unquote, pick out what books he wanted me to read. So I just opened it up, boom. And then one book led to another book, and then another book led to another book. And that's how I ended up with the whole concept of personal development.
Right.
So I'm sitting in the car, and I'm writing down. Matter of fact, back it up. I went to Marshall's. I stole this notebook. I got the notebook right over there. I keep it with me at all times. And I started writing down, and at the top of the notebook it says, if you had to do this the rest of your life, what would it look like? Whole time I wrote out a whole plan, and the whole plan conceptualized into energy later on.
Wow.
But before that transpired, I met a guy named Robert Ginn. We call him Bob. He was coming to the gym. He owns some company, and we met each other at a very weird period. And he had just got diagnosed with he was pre-diabetic. Then it turned into diabetes because his ANC had spiked.
Okay.
So I was, I'm at this point in time, I was on my holistic journey. So I was like, hey man, let's fast. Let's get some sea moss in you. Let's do this amount of cardio a day. Let's pull these foods out your refrigerator. Let's start eating like this, and then put you in a deficit. All along, he lost about 29, maybe 30 pounds. They took him off his high blood pressure medicine. They took him off. The whole time, I didn't even know who I was servicing. I was just being my good old Jolly B self. I was just helping. Mm-hmm. So, 2 things transpired after we found out his ANC had, drastically dropped. 2 things transpired. One was I was in my car, and I got Instagram DM from this guy. Didn't know who he was. And he was Robin Thicke's manager.
Okay.
Right? So Robin Thicke, the singer or whatever, they was doing like this, he was doing this tour with like Fantasia. And they was coming through Baltimore. But see, me, when I first seen it, I thought it was a scam. I really did. Man. Like, nah, because, I know that I can bring forth some things, but that fast, like this, like that, nah, man, hell no, this ain't it. But all along, I checked it out. He was like, yeah, man, it's really me. I'm woo, send me a number, we got a car. We did like some, training or whatever. And he was like, hey, do you want to, while I'm on the East Coast, just stay on the tour with me? I was like, shit, yeah, let's go. So I called Kenny. I was like, yo, Kenny, man, look, y'all my family up here. I love y'all. I love y'all at LA Fitness. Everything is great. I love it, boo-hoo. But, man, please don't let me miss this opportunity. So I got on, the tour bus with him and shit. We was off. From that point, I ended up, touching skins with a lot of other people that was on tour. Did a few stretches for Fantasia and her team. Me and him did, some workouts. I would go and find us a place to work out while he would, prepare himself for like the shows and stuff. All in all, it was just, I went on tour with them and then I came back and that's when, I wanted to take, I felt like it was purposeful. It happened for a reason. And I wanted to conceptualize the idea that I wrote down because now I'm looking at it like, well, shit, this shit coming full circle.
Right.
I guarantee you it wasn't but 3 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, my man Bob came up to me and was like, hey, I want to invest.
Bob,
I want to invest.
Man, Bob, you are the man.
He said, I want to invest in, you. No hesitation, bro. Wrote me a check. Next thing you know, I was looking for a facility. Crazy, bro. All in like a month or two.
Wow. So I guess I had two things. Even in homelessness, what makes you still, like, I would say giving? Where does that mindset come from? Because you literally didn't have anywhere to stay. You giving away clients.
Right.
You giving away, game, as far as like list versus, I know me from being from Baltimore. Growing up, there was and not to say that it's all like that across the board, but there was a lot of like, I would say gatekeeping, or it's like, not trying to really share like thoughts and ideas. And
I ain't never been that person, man. My whole life. Man, I probably didn't, I done opened doors for a lot of people, bro. But in terms, it always happened to me too. So the thing is, for me, man, one thing about being in the country, you'll quickly learn. If they say things like this, you can't beat God's giving no matter how you try. The Lord loves a cheerful giver. They gonna always remind you that giving is profound in love. People gonna always remind you that how you give is a true testament of how much love you really have. Like, for God so loved the world, he gave, then it's only right that we do the same. That's my idea of love. When you have a baby or a child, and that child is a baby, you have to give it things to nurture it into becoming whatever God has put over that kid's life for him to become as an attribute or a contributing citizen on this planet. So giving is the highest expression of love, in my opinion. So I've always been the type of person that give to others because I've realized at a very early age, by me, raising animals and helping around, the farm and stuff that, I learned at an early age that you have to sow to reap. You can't get nothing if you don't put nothing in, if you don't give nothing. And I don't care how much a person might like me or dislike me or whatever it is, one thing that anybody on this planet can say is that if they came around me, they took something from me. Whether it's a word, whether it's, man, even in the country, man, when you go to other people's house, it's almost a law that you should take something. If you visit somebody's house, you got to give something. And that giving is the gift that keeps
giving.
That keeps giving.
Where's Energy Fitness now? Like, is this the original location?
This is our actual second location. We had 2 locations. We opted out of the first location because of the complications we had with COVID. Mm-hmm. Everything there was great. We at our very first location, which was on Security Boulevard, we didn't really have an issue with our operations. It was just the complications with the blow that we took from COVID-19 that didn't allow us to get the wheels up on our shed or get our feet up on our legs to stand up as high as we could. But for me, I felt like the location wasn't big enough. I felt like, once we began to do what it is that we had planned on doing or doing it by the purpose of how we structured it out when I was in that bad situation, I felt like we were gonna outgrow it anyway. So no tears shed, just straight to work. And then, man, crazy. Got a phone call from a guy named Sonny. It was like, hey man, I need somebody to take over this spot. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even run from this, Mm-hmm. So we was blessed to open up another location, but then also we got a second location in the works right now as we speak.
Where that's gonna be? You don't mind? You don't drop that yet? Don't drop that yet?
I don't want to drop it yet. But we just know.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. But I took some major L's in doing this, but also I've gained some feathers on a new set of wings as well. Okay. It's been fun, man. This is fun. It's been fun.
Even with that, like, people tend to get, stressed out, and it's like, so much anxiety wrapped around, taking the L's. You know what I mean?
Right.
How can you make that fun in your head? You know what I mean? Like, I personally know, like, for me, it's one of those things where, like, yo, this is life. If nothing is going on, I'm not having these issues, like things are just hokey-dory, like this is boring. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. But what makes you think that be
purpose? God said this, man. He said, you make the plans, I make the provisions. Yeah, that's what God said. God said, you make the plans, sir, I make the provisions. Guess what I did? When I was on my ass, I made plans. So if I made the plans the first time and it came, then that means my plans just weren't thorough enough. So guess what? When I took an L, I had to make just a new set of plans. And I had to make them a little bit more thorough. Understand this about purpose, bro. If God made you responsible for his purpose, then God is then responsible for the problems that come with it. But if you step in and you try to do God's job, through the power of free will, he gonna, by all means, let you see that you ain't in charge. He gonna prove it. I learned that. I had to learn that. And when I learned that, I took Jolly B the trainer out of the equation. So guess what Jolly B the trainer do? I do what Jolly B the trainer has been purposed to do, not God. No problem. I'm gonna say this. I learned that if you got a problem and your problem can be fixed with money, you ain't got no problem.
True.
It's your ego. It's your pride. It's about how you want to look. But once you overcome the ego issue and the pride issue, and you understand that there's a very thin line between success and failure, then you understand that you ain't really failing, you just learning. So when you become open-minded to learning whatever it is that you're going through or growing through what it is that you've been assigned to do, then you understand that on the other side of all of that is the byproduct of your patience. God said, be consistent. Look at all the great prophets in the Bible. Look at all the great prophets in the Quran. Go back and look at Buddha. All of these stories or these parables or however you seem to look at it, it was a bunch of men that were not perfect, but they were consistent. Consistency wins in life. If you take let's say you got the biggest tree in the world, right? Mm-hmm. You can have the smallest axe. If you take that little bit of axe and you keep chopping that big ass tree, you take a break. You can take a break. I'm tired. It ain't gonna fall. But you know when you pick that little son bitch up and you get the back chopping that big ass tree, the blade get dull. You sharpen the blade and get it. All in all, eventually, guess what's gonna happen? The tree gonna fall. But it's not about how fast the tree fall. It's not about how big the tree is. It's not the size of the axe. It's about how consistent you are in swinging. And once you keep swinging long enough, you get what they call a rhythm. Mm-hmm. And once you get in sync with your rhythm, then guess what happens? Everything that happens on the byproduct of your consistency, your ability to continue to move even when things don't seem like they are moving.
Yeah.
And that kills the ego because the ego is the enemy.
Absolutely.
And when people, the more people realize that, then the more people will have what we call faith. See, a lot of people say they got it until it's tested. But when you understand that your faith is God's prerequisite to trust you to help other people, your faith is only as strong as what your faith is in. Your faith in life, bro, your faith is the thing that keeps problems at bay. Like no matter what you go through in your mind, just keep the faith. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That your faith is the foundation of your belief.
Absolutely.
Faith is the substance of things that we hope for, right? Mm-hmm. But in essence, we can't see it. But if you believe in it, then it must be true for you because that is your belief. And when you realize that what you believe becomes your reality, whether it's good or bad,
it is your reality.
Then you would stay focused on what you believe that is for you. And then you would eventually start to see yourself, I guess you could say manifest those things that you really believe. Yeah. They say, so as a man, what thinketh in his mind, that's the man. A man ain't nothing no more than what he think.
Right.
That's it.
Right. That was good. That was deep. Very deep. Yeah, I mean, all in all, that was definitely good. But I think the next thing is, how are people being connected with you? Like, how can people get connected with you? Like, what do you have going on that, as far as like really helping people in that mental space to cultivate their faith, their belief in themselves?
As a trainer, man, I do things a little bit different than your traditional trainer. I'm not one of those trainers that's more so focused on aesthetics. I can make my body look. We've already overcome the man, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's about utilizing the man in his mind to help people by being the example. When I was in this program, one of the principles that I learned was this: you can't expect what you don't inspect. So that means whatever you do in life, you have to kind of role model the expectations. So my page, if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's Jollibee the Trainer. Jollibee_the_trainer. If you look at my page, you see me not more so as a trainer, but as a philanthropist, right? So I'm heavy in the community. So monthly, outside of the gym, we are really in the community. In the last, let's say, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, 8 impactful, we had, at least once a month, so let's say 8 impactful events combined with what we do on a monthly basis. October, we did our community cleanup, followed by, our yoga on the weekends, and then the hikes we do on Sundays. Typically we do that until the weather don't permit us to do it. Then we got November, where we do, we did homeless food drive where we gave away hot food. And not only did we give away hot food, we gave away 100 coats in November, right? Well, as a matter of fact, we gave away about 250 coats. I take that back, to the homeless. Then while we was there, we noticed another issue that a lot of people didn't have shoes. So in December, in addition to what we already do at the gym, we did a spare or old pair shoes where we actually reached out to like Feli and got a couple of like sponsorships with shoes, and we gave out maybe about 200, 300, 400 pairs of shoes to the homeless community, right? Christmas we do hats, gloves. In January, but we did an event down in front of the city hall that gave people access to like the WIC programs and stuff like that. So people that that didn't maybe know they qualified for it, they come out and see if they could get access to those resources. Mental health seminars, February, March, we did a feed and groom the homeless where we gave out free haircuts to the homeless. We gave out 375 Little Caesar pizzas, and then we even got the community in the gym to donate clothes. We gave them clothes and stuff like that. April, pancreatic cancer awareness, where we got out and did our drive with PanCan of America, and then May, which is ahead of us, we got the Baltimore Urban Fitness Expo, which is an expo that exposes health to the urban community and also jobs, because that expo is also a job fair. Also, helping people to understand the importance of their health while working. But if you're unemployed, you can get a job, and then we'll teach you how to maintain your health, because a healthy person in the health it creates a healthy environment in the workspace. And then, we go on to June, July. Every month, we exemplify something that gives us the opportunity to be continuing contributing factors to our community right here in Baltimore. So it's just like, our mission is to empower sustainable health and fitness to a community of people in a holistic approach. So doing that holistically allows us to host our fitness classes, right? 1, host community action. 2, drive service. 3, and 4, collaborate with each other and work together, creating a family-oriented facility, a gym that give us the opportunity to grow in nature as a family or as a unit, instead of just an individualized program like most gyms do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Every month, giving is definitely a top tier.
It's top tier. That's what it's about for us. It's who I am. It's what I want my company to represent. Even by us being a clinical therapeutic fitness facility, most of our members come for free. The majority.
Oh, how did you do that?
So basically, we was approved through the state of Maryland to become a program that partnered in a way in which the state pays for the majority of the memberships, where they pay for the people who have some type of diagnosis up to like a year. So we can render free services to those that qualify, through their medical aid. So it's just like being approved to do that also set us apart from a lot of other facilities, because we help people in one of the most profound ways by not, digging into their pockets. But even the people that don't qualify for the free assistance, the program is cheap. But we render some of the best service that you can get in Maryland when it comes to fitness. Proven track record.
Yeah, that's what's up. So I would say that's definitely a huge thing that separates energy from the run of the mill facilities. So if you hit this, I know we talked about a number of things. We talked about faith. We talked about giving. We talked about a lot of things. If you could attribute to one thing, what would you attribute your grind, the hustle to?
You know what my gem is? Energy is the act of feeding your inner bliss, abstracting all negative outcomes with the understanding that the enemy is truly the enemy. Attributing the success of or contributing the grind of what I do is just simply me keeping the enemy at bay. So understanding that I am my own worst enemy allows me the opportunity to be consistent in my efforts to personal develop myself. Because at the end of the day, commitment and personal development is the grounds of why we do what we do. If you decided that you wanted to do something in life, there's no outside circumstances that are going to limit you to doing it. You can do and be whatever you want to be. But it's that enemy that we don't see as an enemy. We see it as a friend. But really in nature, everything has an equal or opposite to it.
Right.
Including you as a human. So the only thing that could keep that at bay is personal development. And everything that you become in life is the objectivity of your personal development. It's the stronghold. It's what creates a new foundation. I learned a long time ago that nothing in life changes unless the mind changes, right? But change don't happen unless you become convicted. Conviction is the key to change, right? Understanding how conviction works. A person can talk about having a baby all day, right? But nothing changes until they become pregnant. A man can say, man, I've tried to quit smoking cigarettes and every facet, don't nothing work. But if you go to the doctor and the doctor tell you got lung cancer, guess what happened instantly? That conviction just made you put down a cigarette, you know? Or either that conviction will lead you to say, well, I've been smoking all this time, I might as well keep going, I'm about to die anyway. But see, that's the enemy. And what contributes to, me always want to continue to grind the way I do is just knowing that every day I wake up, I can either be at peace with myself or I can be at war with myself. Because one thing about life gon' life, regardless. This one game, you can't opt out. And if you do opt out, you're no longer in the game. So you gotta show up every day. So at the end of the day, either you're gonna devote to being nothing or you're gonna devote yourself to personally putting yourself in the best position you can to either win the day or get a win in the day. So for me, that has always been my drive to get up and look for those wins. Because a winner don't do nothing but focus on winning. And oppositely, a loser do the same. They focus on losing. But at the end of the day, it's the determining factor of who you could become versus who you should already be.
Right.
So,
well, that's really all I have for today. I know we got appointments coming up and whatnot. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is part one because we got so much more to talk about and to tackle. But how can everybody, get in contact with you, find your program, find you on social media? I know you said it earlier.
The gym page is energy_transformation studio. My personal page is JollyB, JOLLYB_THE_trainer. You can check us out on the web. It's www.energy.transformationstudio.fit.
So, actually, just thought of one more thing. Where did the name Jolly B come from?
Man, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Everybody in the country got a nickname. If you from the country and you don't have a nickname, you're not from the country. You actually moved to the country, and they just ain't gave you your nickname yet. But growing up, man, I think my best friend Jarvin Spencer. We was in one of my coach's class one day. He was like, bro, you always happy. Oh, Jolly. Jolly. So, I mean, that way it kind of like started at, and then it just kind of like caught wind, and then it took off, man. My granddad used to call me Bo Hall. Bo. Like it was just something, like it was always something. I got cousins named Rabbits. rabbit, chicken, squirrel. Like you in the country, they're just like, you know, that's like your trademark.
Gotcha.
Everybody got a nickname, man, and mine just kind of stuck with me throughout my life. Yeah. So, but all in all, I am a happy person naturally, and I'm a very positive person naturally. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Chris, Jolly B, Oliver, for blessing the Brand Hustlers today.
Yeah, man.
Definitely appreciate all of the gems that were dropped. Definitely going to be looking forward to recapping and coming back full circle to do another one. Brand Hustlers, appreciate you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Brand Hustlers. It's your boy Ryan Roundtree, also known as Tree the Creator. Look out for our next episode, airing every Friday. Peace.
Favorite trainer.
You've been tuning in to the Brand Hustlers podcast, the sanctuary for ambition, innovation, and the relentless spirit of entrepreneurship. We hope today's journey has fueled your passion, sparked your curiosity, and given you the insights you need to take your brand to new heights. Remember, every big achievement starts with the dream and the courage to hustle for it. Don't miss our next episode where we uncover more stories, strategies, and insights from the world of business. Till then, keep hustling, stay inspired, and turn your vision into victory. Thank you for listening, and remember, your brand's legacy starts right now.